Hello there and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in the Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy and this is what's in the box kit review number 205. Yes, there's 205 of these to look at on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at my Matchbox Heinkel HE115 kit number 40405 in the 1/72nd scale. Now, to give you a little bit of history on this particular kit, this was from a 1976 tooling, so it was new in 1976. It had a new box in 77, a new box in 83, a new box in 1998 with some new decals, which is this one. After the demise of Matchbox, it was then passed over to Revell, who started churning it out in 2007, and it had a new box by Revell in 2012. So if you get a Revell kit, basically you're just getting a Matchbox one. So as per normal, we're going to have a look at the blurb on the instructions. We're going to work our way through the instruction sheet, and then we're going to have a look at the parts and the decals. So there we go. So first off, we've got this little bit to read, which is kind of interesting. The Heinkel HE115 was conceived in 1935 as an advanced torpedo-carrying general-purpose twin-engine floatplane. The prototype HE115V1 making its first flight on August 1937. The initial HE115A1 entered production in 1939, these also having provision for carrying bombs internally and on underwing racks. Priority was given to meeting export orders from Sweden and Norway, their HE115A2s having some equipment changes. The first German unit, 1K Flug GR106, receiving their machines in September 1939. The HE115B0 and B1 superseded the A model from November 1939, these having several modifications including improved fuel capacity, which increased the range of operations from 2,000 kilometres to 3,347 kilometres, quite a big difference. Various field modification sets, R-stats, could also be fitted on the B models to suit them for specific roles, the final 18 having reinforced floats with steel skids for operations from snow or ice-covered surfaces. These float planes were operated mainly over the Atlantic, Baltic and North Sea areas, and later on the Arctic regions by 5 Steinfliegergruppen numbers 106, 406, 506, 706 and 906, and by KG200. Their main duties were torpedo dropping and bombing and mine laying and air-sea rescue. Following the invasion of Norway in 1940, some of the Norwegian HE115As were used against the German forces and 4 managed to escape to Britain, the RAF using 2 of them for clandestine operations. Although obsolescence at the beginning of World War II, the HE115 was of extremely sturdy design, possessing a good performance, and was the Luftwaffe's most successful attack and reconnaissance floatplane. The 12 Swedish Air Force machines, designated T2s, served with the coastal unit 1F2 at Guy from 1939, the last example being retired in 1952. Powered by 2 960 horsepower BMW 132K radial engines, the HE115 had a maximum speed of 355 km per hour at 3,400 metres, wingspan 22.2 metres, length 17.3, height 6.6. And the total number built, according to Wiki, was 138, and the other operators, like discussed there, with the Swedes had 12, the Norwegians had 6, and some of the Norwegian ones escaped to Britain, but one of them also went to Norway for a short period of time. Now, as we can see, this particular version comes with both German and Swedish markings, which is kind of interesting. And bearing in mind this is potentially sort of 25, 26 years old, these decals are looking remarkably good, and hopefully they will be of good use when I come to do them. So let's have a look at the parts. Now, as we'd expect from a sort of semi-vintage kit from, well, originating in 1976, the year of my birth, so that makes this 48 years old or thereabouts. The detail is kind of scant, and any panel lines, or most of the panel lines that I've noticed, particularly on the wings, etc., are of the raised variety. But I mean, at the end of the day, it should prove to be a nice looking kit when built. And I do actually recall that one of my neighbours, when I was a kid, had one of these, and he used to bring it round my house, and we'd play Air Forces. I think he normally got shot down by one of my Spitfires though. Anyway, enough of reminiscing on history and all that. Let's have a look at these parts. So as we can see, we're looking at the main fuselage section here. There's not a lot of detail on it. There's no flash or anything like that. We can see the torpedo bay clearly outlined here, I should think. And we have a few panel lines and whatnot. We can see the rudder surface. We have the 2 floats on this sprue, like so. We'll be able to look at the instructions in a minute. And then we have the other surface here. We have our BMW engines. There's some detail on those. I suppose if you wanted to, you could trim these sort of flat pieces out. We've got a couple of 3-bladed propellers. We have some unidentified small parts here. And we have a couple of pilot figures and a forward-firing observer stroke machine gunner. So that's that sprue. Now we move on to the wings, and as you can see, we've got these raised panel lines here. We've got our control surfaces clearly marked out. We've got our engine nacelles already in place. We have the tail surfaces here. These are the struts for the floats. We've got a couple of ladders, which as you can see are fixed in place. Another strut. And we have a couple of machine guns there as well, and the completing parts of our engine nacelles with a bit of detail. I was kind of interested to see this is just a 1-colour kit. I mean, Matchbox were kind of famous for doing these 2-colour versions. So here we have another section of the wing. I think they're going to be, is that going to be the top or the bottom? I'm not sure. They've got a slight thing there, but these ones are flat. This is going to be the bottom surface, I'm guessing. We've got the bottom surface here of the tail. We've got an interesting looking rod. We've got a couple of seats. This is going to be the floor of the cockpit. And we have probably another 4 struts maybe. I'm kind of thinking these are probably these parts here. So we've got a nice assortment of parts there. Looks relatively simple to build. We also have a clear plastic sprue. And as we can see, we've got the rather large cockpit canopy cover. The detail on this is very, very heavy, so should be quite easy to paint, but I'm not too sure how sort of accurate that's going to be. We've got a nose section here and 2 other sections of the front nose. And this other piece here, which looks like it goes on the top up there. That's all good. So let's have a look at these instructions. Where have they gone? Okay. We've got a whole load of other gubbins. So here we can see we've got section 1. This is construction of the cockpit. And we have a forward-facing pilot and a rear-facing observer machine gunner. Not exactly certain at the moment. Oh, he's a machine gunner. We have the construction of our engine nacelles. Engine in. Propeller on, spinner on. We're then going to assemble the 2 parts of the fuselage around our pre-built cockpit interior. Here we have our cockpit canopy going on with a machine gun and the rest of these glazed parts. And here we have our lying down observer machine gunner in the nose. Here we have number 5, construction of the tail section. You can see we have some small parts to put on the rear. It's number 6, construction of the floats. And then we're going to attach our 2 wings together, put our engines on, put this final part of the nose on in section 7. Section 8, we're going to put our 2 floats on. We're then going to put our ladder on as well. We've got a few other small parts to put on around the engines, and then we have these 2 struts to go on the rear to support the tail. Section 9, we have a nice black and white diagram on how to colour this up in a rather fetching splinter design. It's got some colour references here, not quite sure what they refer to. And as we can see, this one is Heinkel HE115 stroke 1 Staffel, Custom Flieger Group 506, Luftflotte 5, Sealuftskrafter, Norway 1941. And then we have this one, Heinkel T2 HE115A2, number 1 Squadron F2 Wing, Galo, Swedish Air Force, July 1940. Now, as I have a bit of a thing for colouring these in obscure and alternative air forces, I think we might be going for the Swedes when we come to build this. And I didn't know it was. I knew you could do this in Finnish and Norwegian colours, but I didn't realise you could do it in Swedish. And we've got the decals. So yeah, that's kind of tempting, I must admit. It's got plain on top, plain on bottom, so it's an easier paint job as well. Anyway, so there we go. Like I said, I mean, I think I paid about £20 with the postage for this on eBay, which is comparatively cheap, as previously I'd seen it going for sort of 30, 35. So I think I got a pretty good deal on it, and it's the bang up to date, or as it was, the bang up to date Matchbox variant. And with these interesting Swedish decals, I think I can say that I'm pretty chuffed with this one. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little perusal at this Heinkel HE115. Please do check out some of the other 204 what's in the box kit reviews we have. I think I'm going to do a few more Matchboxes over the next week or so, because everybody seems to like these sort of vintage kits that sort of generate great feelings back from when we were children. They do for me, obviously. My mate, obviously, like I said, had one. So yeah, we'll get round to building this at some point over the next 15 years, because we have a lot of kits to actually build. But I'm kind of thinking this one might be sooner rather than later. So thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And as always, be seeing you.